in the midst of how much content gets put out these days,
Yep.
you have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Avoid these mistakes with your videos.
Perfectionism is overrated. Don't overthink the content that you put out. Those are the key pieces to any marketing strategy.
In this episode, I talked with Ben Mandal, who started marketing for companies while still in high school and went on to found Kinnect Marketing during college.
People buy into a business because of the people that run it, not because of the business. Be yourself, be personal.
We talk about some of the most common mistakes in video marketing, how businesses can take a personalized, authentic approach to their videos, and what the future looks like on the different video platforms.
You're going to find out on your own what works and doesn't work for your business.
This is the Video Lab show where I have high-value conversations with experts in video marketing, video content, and video platforms. I'm your host, Caleb, and I've been helping businesses grow with video since 2012. I'm a video content creator and founder of the Video Lab, a content studio located in downtown Sioux Falls, South Dakota. If you're a business or individual wanting to learn more about how video can help you create more awareness, build trust, and generate more sales, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future conversations. Here's my conversation with Ben about what's working right now in video marketing.
Well, Ben, thanks for being on the show today, man. How you doing?
I'm doing awesome. This is incredible. It's awesome to be here. It's awesome to see your new setup.
Oh, yeah.
From
thanks.
last time I was here. This is great. You're doing great stuff.
Hey, I appreciate that. Tell us a little bit about Kinnect Marketing. Now, you're still in school, right? You're still in school.
Correct.
Running a marketing agency. What is this all about? You're in sports too.
Yep.
Like, do you sleep or eat or anything?
I try to. Well, it's been really a wild ride. I started Kinnect Marketing in high school, right after I graduated high school. And I always tell people a conversation can change your world.
Yeah.
And a conversation literally changed my world.
Amazing.
I was out west with a buddy. We were staying at a resort, and seriously, Kinnect got started by me going up to the business owner and starting to just talk. And he asked me what I'm going to school for, and I said marketing. And he goes, "You know social media?" At the time, I was 18. I'm like, "Heck yeah, I know social media.
I am social media.
And on the spot, he goes, "Do you want to be our new marketing specialist?" And I was like, "Heck yeah, I do."
Wow.
So he hired me on the spot, and loved that experience, and decided I wanted to go and do my own thing. And so, like 3 months later, I came out with a little business. Wasn't connected at the time.
Yep.
I came out with a little business, and I've just grown it over the past 5 years now that I've been at USF. Did a rebrand a couple years ago, came out with Kinnect Marketing. Our slogan is "We create connections that count."
Love it.
And kind of our take on things is that when I started the company and when I've gone to businesses and talked with businesses, there's a disconnect between marketing agency and in-house marketing teams.
Okay.
And especially with small businesses,
I can see that.
which is where we started out with, and still we thrive off small businesses, is in a small business, in-house marketing teams are great.
Yeah.
They're awesome because they're in the business constantly. They know you, they know your brand, they know the team. But on the flip side, marketing agencies a lot of times have a more creative and productive power than an in-house team does. But
Love it.
for a small business, when you go to these agencies, a lot of times agencies either we've seen three things. Either they charge way too much and just want to make a quick buck off these companies and aren't really taking the creative or the marketing into consideration. Two, what they say that they're going to do, they don't follow through with. And three, what the client actually tells the agency that they need, they just disregard and do their own thing.
Yeah.
The best quote that I've heard is, "I'd rather shop for used cars than deal with marketing."
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And
I like that.
And that's a problem.
Yep.
Because
Totally is.
marketing is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to empower your business. You're supposed to see a piece of content or a marketing material asset.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to look and be like, "Heck yeah, that represents my brand."
Yeah, something to be proud of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Marketing is what grows your business. You need marketing. Right. And so at Kinnect, we're a full service agency. We've taken the same services that a normal agency does, but what makes us different is how we structure our services.
Sweet.
All services are structured on a month-to-month basis. We're involved in your business on a weekly, monthly basis. So we become your marketing team.
Gotcha.
And so for probably cheaper than it is to hire an in-house marketing person, you're getting 4 times the productive and creative power.
Yeah.
Being to that, we are a month-to-month business. If I was an employee of said company, I would, if I was an employee of your said company, if I'm not holding up my end of the deal, I don't deserve to work for your business. You know, obviously we'd have some conversations. Hey, how can we get this back on track? But ultimately, if I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, I don't deserve to be employed with you. And that's what we believe at Kinnect Marketing, is that if we're not holding up our end of the deal, you shouldn't be tied down to a contract with us. We don't deserve to work with you then. Luckily, that hasn't happened. You know, but that just gives business
that's a good
owners,
sign. That's a good sign.
Exactly. But it just gives business owners the peace of mind. And we also, and I'm sure we'll have questions on this, you know, topics on this later, but you know, we take great pride in pushing our clients creatively.
Yeah, sweet.
And
I like that.
Getting them out of their comfort zone to be unique, express their business personality.
Yeah, that's so good. And well, the reason we're here today, right, is because we're talking about like what's working in video content. And we'll get into that in just a little bit. But I have to know, what does like a normal week look like for you? Still being in school, running a marketing agency, in sports, like briefly, can you just like briefly just run me through? Because like, I love everything you said. I'm still caught up on this whole thing of like, you were starting this in high school, man.
Yeah. So currently right now, what's going on in my life is I'm a graduate student at the University of Sioux Falls. I'm on the track team there. I'm a hurdler. And so right now we're just wrapping up with our indoor season. And then also being, you know, owning Kinnect Marketing, I have a team of 4. We service Minnesota and South Dakota. But a typical week for me, like today, for instance, woke up this morning, had a 10 a.m. meeting. Now I'm here at 2 o'clock. We have a content shoot from 2 to 4. And then at 4 o'clock, I have to go straight to the track and I have a workout. And then at 5:30, we have our team Devo meeting where we meet every week. And so I got to go there. And so, you know, really time management has been the biggest learner for me.
I bet.
And then on top of that, you know, cramming as much schoolwork as I can and at night. And honestly, and for any professors that are watching, I'm sorry that I'm saying this, but honestly, I've learned that when in college, you don't need to be a straight A student, right?
Yeah.
You need to be, for me, I needed to be a B or C student. That's where I was comfortable being, you know, because at the end of the day, I just wanted my degree.
Right.
You know, the straight A's wasn't a big deal to me. And that's just the harsh reality of it.
Yeah.
It wasn't a big deal to me. As long as I got my work in and was successful, that's what mattered.
Well, I definitely don't know what it's like to be a straight A student. So I'm right there with you, man. Like, B and C, I'm good. I graduated with a psychology degree, so from USF. So,
awesome. And honestly, going through the 4 years that I was at USF, the first 2 years I was a straight A, or no, the first year I was a straight A student. I had a great GPA. And then this was one of the coolest things about University of Sioux Falls that really stood out to me. My sophomore and junior year, I'd come into class, and one day my professor asked me, they go, "How are you doing? Because you just look burnt out." And I said, "I am so tired." And with everything that was going on, and they said, "Just take care of your work stuff. Let us know what you're doing, and we'll take care of your grade part."
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
That was amazing.
Personal touch there, you know?
Yeah.
Well, we are getting to know you a little bit here, Ben, but we're going to take this to a whole deeper level to get to know you. All right. We're going to play a little game.
Awesome.
Okay. And this little game is called Would You Rather? Like, people are going to walk away from this episode being like, who is this guy?
Heck yeah.
Okay. Now, you do not need to give like any type of description if you don't want to. You don't have to give an explanation. You don't have to say why. You can just say this or that.
Sure.
If you want to give a description or an explanation, you definitely can. Perfect. Okay. So, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Here we go. We're going to start off easy.
Yeah.
All right. Would you rather have a pet owl or a pet snake?
Owl.
Okay. Would you rather live without your phone for a month or without your car for a month?
Live without car, because everything that we do is digitally. Okay. And honestly, I love to run. Yeah. And so I could get by without having a car for a month.
That's a great explanation right there. All right. Would you rather be able to create your own world or be able to enter any movie world you choose? Ooh, that's a good
Create
one.
your own world, definitely, because then you have full control of what's going on.
All right. It's kind of like a Minecraft world.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Would you rather only be able to use a fork to eat or only be able to use a spoon? Who's writing these questions?
Fork to eat, a spoon. I'm gonna go with a fork.
Okay, all right.
I don't know why, but fork.
Yeah. You don't have to explain. It's totally fine. Would you rather always have to wear shoes made of foam, or always wear socks that are 2 sizes too big? Oh man, that's
Shoes made of foam.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
Who is
you
raising
probably wear foam
questions?
shoes anyway, running or something like that. Okay, would you rather be able to communicate only through emojis or only through interpretive dance?
Ooh,
If you could only communicate one way, emojis.
because I suck at dancing.
You're not doing a whole lot of dancing out on the track.
Nope.
All right. Would you rather? This is the last one. Okay, so this one is this is where we'll end this thing. Would you rather be able to teleport but only to the nearest grocery store, or have the ability to fly but only for 30 seconds at a time? So you can teleport, but you can only teleport to the grocery store. What?
Boy,
Oh,
that's a
man.
tough one.
That is a tough one. Yeah.
And only fly for 30 seconds. That was the other one.
Yeah, you can only fly for 30 seconds at a time.
I'm gonna say fly for 30 seconds.
I think that would be cool.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. I mean, there are times in the winter where I would like to just teleport to the grocery store
Oh yeah.
to get something, but with Instacart, that changes. I would rather fly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I would rather fly. Okay, Ben, today we're talking about like what's working in video marketing in 2025. It's 2025. What video trends? And we're not talking about like the latest dance trend, we're not talking about like trending music necessarily,
Mm-hmm.
but like the trends, what's working in video marketing in 2025. Like what will dominate in 2025 and how should businesses prepare for that?
That's a big question.
It is a
That's
big
a heavily
question.
loaded topic
Yep.
because honestly, it depends on which business type you're in. It depends on the
Yeah.
industry. We have clients right now that when we script out a video for them and them it being clearly laid out and you can tell it's clearly laid out in the video,
Yeah.
that performs really well. On the flip side, we have clients where that does not work at all. And us
Interesting.
just saying, hey, this is a topic we want to discuss and
Yeah.
throwing the camera up in front of them and them going at it, that performs well.
Yeah.
And so it really depends on your industry. The top things that I will say though is not caring about what the content is
Oh, interesting.
and just throwing it out there.
Okay.
Because in the midst of how much content gets put out these days,
Yep.
you have nothing to lose
Yeah.
on testing a piece of content.
Yeah.
And the other thing I'll say is don't create, document.
I like that.
People want to know, everyone has
Yeah.
such an interesting life.
Yeah.
And people want to know you.
Yep.
They want to know about you. And so many people are blowing up these days on TikTok and Instagram because they're taking their normal everyday lives and they're documenting
Yeah.
it. And because of how interesting everyone's life is, they're becoming social media influencers now.
Right.
And so that's one thing is car dealerships. The whole car business is very interesting
Yeah.
and how they negotiate. And there's a couple car dealerships that are blowing up on social because the salespeople are documenting what they do during the day,
Yeah.
the negotiations that they have to go through, the different customer interactions that
I
happen.
like that.
That stuff is so interesting. There's another guy on TikTok that he's a bus driver and he drives different schools to different field trips.
Okay.
And what he does is he documents those field trips because he loves going on the field trips with the kids.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So he documents what he eats, what he does, and it is the most basic.
Yep.
It's the most basic lifestyle, but the different stuff that he does makes it so interesting.
Yeah, that's cool.
And so I would say don't create, but document.
Yeah.
And don't overthink the content that you put out.
Key. Yeah, I like that right there. Like, perfection.
Yeah.
Right. Like when it comes down to it is like, and that I think that documenting piece like helps with that perfection piece as well. It's like it doesn't have to be perfect. If you're documenting something, it might not be perfect. It might not be, truly curated original. But I like that document piece because I feel like a lot of people are having success showing the process of doing things. When it comes to like artists on Instagram, a lot of the ones that are finding success are the ones that are like documenting the process that they go through to create that piece of art, not necessarily just slapping up that finished piece.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. And along within the documenting, as long as you can, we always tell clients to, in their content, to engage, inform, and entertain. And those are the key pieces to any marketing strategy. And there's actually 4 of them. It's inform, engage, entertain, and advertise.
Like it.
But the advertising part, you need to focus on the least.
Right.
Because when you specifically advertise, like call this number, click the link, that stuff's boring to look at.
Yeah.
That stuff is plain boring to look
Yeah.
at. But when you focus on these 3, these are also advertising too.
Yeah.
You know, they're putting your business out there, but they're showing people that you care and that there's more to your business than just calling the number, clicking the link.
Yeah, totally. And I think that comes along with like that storytelling piece too. Of like, that's like, we hear a lot about like storytelling and video marketing and things like that. That's the story of like documenting what you're doing. That's the story. You know, working with customers. That's the story. Like, you know, frequently asked questions that people have, that they have the answers before they even walk through the door. I like that. I like those pieces.
Yeah.
Now, as you think about like content over the past few years, and like, you know, you've kind of like have been in like the peak of it, you know, like, you know, kind of starting in high school with your marketing agency, and, you know, through now, like kind of the peak. Like, how have you kind of seen like consumption, like video consumption habits? Like, how's that changed over the past few years? And maybe how will it continue to evolve into 2025?
I think that's a heavily loaded question. I think
we got a lot of heavy loaded questions.
I think the form of vlogging has really taken shape. And what's really set people apart, I found, is people who are willing to put themselves out there. And especially in the business world, people used to be so secretive about their business topics and their secrets. And especially in the marketing world, if any prospect of business comes up to us and asks us a question, I will give them every little piece of knowledge I know. And I encourage them to go and do it themselves, try it themselves. But the chances are, if they haven't done it yet, they're not going to do it now. Right. And so beforehand, you know, 4 years ago, people were so secretive about that stuff. But the people are excelling in video content nowadays. And as we approach 2024, we're in 2025, but as we get into the depths of it, and even going into 2026, the businesses that stand out are the businesses that give as much value as they can to their audience.
Kind of a no gatekeeping approach.
Exactly. Because that's what creates the trust and credibility. You know, that's what shows that you know your stuff.
And that's huge. And I think like when you see, you know, I'm thinking of like business coaches and like, you know, financial coaches and things like that. Like, they are on screen all the time, putting content out in a no gatekeeping way. They're like, here's the information. And if you want to take this further, here's my product.
It's just
you
like,
know what I mean?
I'm going to shout out John Mayer.
Totally.
You and I are in his course. Right. And the thing about him is that most of the stuff that we learn in his course, you can get on his YouTube channel. Right. But the reason why we pay to be in his coaching class is because he has set times where, since we have an attachment now to that, we're in class with him from, you know, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And even though all the content we could get on YouTube, being that we're business owners that have busy schedules, we would never go and look at it on our own time. And so he's giving us that value of providing us with that structured time and really ingraining that information into our systems. And so even though everything's out there and we know that he knows his stuff and that it works, you know, it's still, we still didn't take the time to go and do it ourselves, just on our own time.
Totally. Okay, so we're talking about like what's working in video marketing right now in 2025. Like, let's actually talk about like the actual types of videos. Like, I'm thinking like reels, live streams. Like, what have you noticed is like really working right now at this moment? Like, is it live streams? Is it reels?
So let's talk about live streams really quick. What I've found is with live streams, selling is a huge thing on live streams now, and actually grabbing your product and selling online. There's a lot of in the sports card world. I've seen a lot of sports card people are ripping packs and doing it on live stream and selling the actual cards that they pull on live.
Nice. That's so smart.
Especially in the car world, I'm seeing car businesses. They do live streams where they open their they are open to buying cars on live stream, and they'll have people call in and they'll make deals on these live streams.
That's amazing.
And so as far as live streams go, selling is the biggest. I think is going to make a huge wave. And jumping on a live, you know, even for 30 minutes. Because the thing that you remember about live is that live can reach so many people outside of your normal audience. And so all it takes is one person jump on that live, see a car or something, object that they like, and saying, I let's do it.
Well, and the platforms make it so easy to go live, and that video will live on that platform forever.
Exactly.
You know,
when it comes to normal content, what we're seeing is longer form content now.
Yeah.
Longer form content is really taking wave. What it used to be is that short form content. But now you're seeing Instagram, or you're seeing Meta, TikTok, and all these algorithms, they're favoriting, you can post up to an hour's worth of video now.
Yeah.
And so that's what I think is going to really set place here is if you can figure out how to make a really engaging 30-minute video that's entertaining, informing, and to watch, I think that's where we're going with stuff. Obviously there's always going to be a place for short form content.
Yeah, totally. Yep.
And having those quick 30-second, 1-minute reels.
Yep.
But I think we're going to see a huge jump in long form content.
No, that's really interesting because I've seen that too with especially the crazy thing is like people are busting out like whiteboards now, whiteboards and Post-it notes to make their video content. But here's the thing about that. It like as people write on the whiteboard or write on the, the Post-it note, like it creates natural hooks kind of throughout the video. So it like increases retention on that video, right? Because people are going to stick around until you're done writing or you're like filling in a blank or something like that. If you have stuff prepared ahead of time and maybe you're like drawing arrows and all this stuff, but like that form of content is killing it. And it's easy to get longer with those types of videos because you're actually writing things out. And for my age group, like that's how I grew up learning in the classroom anyway. Yeah. So like that affects me in a way that it might not affect my kids who are like on the Chromebook all the time doing their schoolwork. You know what I mean?
Totally. So, and you've done a great job with the video lab of doing content like that. I mean, you're constantly posting content that's whiteboard based. Yeah. And I love when people take the sticky notes like you do and unveil the answer.
Yeah, right.
I think that's a great form. And actually, this Thursday we have a content shoot with a client here in Sioux Falls, and we're doing a March Madness bracket.
Let's go.
Where we're pertaining to their business, but we're going to be drawing out the bracket.
Nice.
And using whiteboard, that's a whole new thing that's coming about.
Yeah.
And the other thing to think about with the whiteboard is I think every company should consider themselves as teachers too.
Yeah.
Going into 2025 and as we go into 2026 is because people want to be taught.
Yeah.
And that's how you can inform.
I like that. Yeah. Be a teacher. Even if you don't think of your business as like an education-based business or whatever, like educate. Yeah. Bring value. Yeah. That's a good way to do it.
I find that a lot of business owners, and especially myself, business owners love their business. They live and breathe it. I live and breathe marketing, right? And I love to teach it.
Yeah.
And so jump on your socials and teach about your business. If you're a plumber, teach about how to unclog a toilet.
Yeah, totally. That would be helpful.
Teach about, if you're in the construction world, if you're in the landscape world, teach how to build a retaining wall, right? Because not only are you putting value out there to where someone can go and do it themselves, but you're showing that you know how to do it and you care to show that you know.
What would you say to somebody that says, well, there's already like a ton of YouTube videos out about that? What would you say to somebody that might say that?
There's a ton, but you're not.
Yes.
You're not out there.
I like that.
So there's all these companies that are posting content out there. Yeah. Your consumers are going and seeing those, but they're not seeing your page.
Yeah. Well, and what I like about that too is like at some point you have an unfair advantage because you are you. Like it might be your education. It might be a life skill that you have. Unfortunately, maybe it might be a health issue that you've had. Yeah. You might have like some type of like something unfair advantage that viewer might relate to you more than they might relate to somebody else building a retainer wall. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And the thing too that I'll say along that is, say there are 5 companies that have a video on how to build a retaining wall. Well, now it comes down to the creative, your thumbnail and all that and how the video is structured. Yeah, it could be the same concept, but your video will be more creative and engaging.
Yeah.
One thing could be a hook could be, the retaining wall blocks laying down on the customer and them having a hurt back.
Yeah.
And that's your hook.
Yeah.
Do you want to know how to build a retaining wall properly?
It won't fall.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so in 2025, a huge thing right now is AI.
Yep.
Okay. AI is big time. A ton of people are using it for their content. At what point does that personalization piece come in the midst of all of this AI content that's coming out? But let's be honest, people are using a lot of AI.
Oh yeah, absolutely. First off, AI is not going away.
Yep.
It's here to stay.
Totally.
And I get asked a lot as a marketer, do you think AI will replace our job? No, I don't. I think people that deny AI, that's where it's going to hurt you.
Oh, yeah.
But if you accept AI and use it to your power,
Yeah.
AI will never replace human creativity.
Yep.
Nothing will ever replace human creativity.
Right.
But what AI can do is it can greatly enhance human creativity.
Yeah.
And if you're struggling for video ideas and you put in and say, give me video ideas on this topic, and you give some specifics about what you're thinking about, and literally talk to it as a person.
Yeah.
Don't talk to it as a machine, talk to it as a person. It'll spit you out 5 different video ideas,
right.
but then take your own creative spin.
Yeah.
Because it's empowering your creativity to come up with the next idea.
Yeah, totally. Well, and that's great. I mean, it's like, as an idea generator, like it's so easy to like put in there if you do it right, and that's where like you come in with kind of helping along those lines of like getting those video ideas to a place where now let's execute on these.
Exactly.
So as you kind of think of like your client base, and you don't have to give specifics on who they are or anything, but like, do you have any like success stories that you've seen with like some video content that you've been doing lately?
Yeah, totally. So, one of our clients is they're called Let Freedom Ride 605.
Okay.
They make UTV, so side-by-side windshield covers
nice.
For construction equipment.
Okay.
So when this equipment is hauling down the road, if rocks fly up, that the rocks don't crack the windshields.
Okay. Yep.
We did our first video with them, was about their business. We had a hook. We had the middle part where she discussed what their business does and how it came to be.
All right.
And then an ending.
Yeah.
And we had some creativity in it. And typically, a viewer is not going to watch your whole video.
Yeah.
That's the reality of it.
Yeah. Reality.
Right? That video is 1:14. That video, the average watch time per viewer was 54 seconds.
Oh, nice.
Which
That's
is
almost the whole video.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the total amount watch time was 7 hours and 58 minutes.
Nice.
And it reached, I think it was 70% non-audience viewers that saw that video.
Yep.
And from that video, this is our very first month with them.
Yep.
On Facebook, they started out with 134 followers. Today, I just looked, they have 650 followers.
Oh, let's go.
Which
nice.
is huge.
Yeah.
And so, as far as the video content goes, it's really just an A and B testing of what works.
Yeah. Now, in that particular case, is that like a vertical reel?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And we call it the three scroll rule.
Yep.
If you the algorithm's favorite vertical content, right?
Yep.
And the goal is to get someone to be on your piece of content for as long as possible. If you have a horizontal video, it takes 1 swipe to leave your video. But if you have a vertical, it takes 3.
Interesting.
Yes, it's a very minimal a detail that not a lot of people would ever think about.
Yep.
But think about it. 1 swipe versus 3 swipes. 3 swipes, that's probably 3 seconds?
Yeah.
That's about how long a hook takes.
Yeah, totally.
So if I'm swiping through and I get 2 swipes in, but I hear an incredible hook, that last swipe isn't going to happen. I'm going to stop my thumb and scroll back up to that content.
It's like, oh, I relate to this.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's awesome. I just got an email, and you probably got this too, but from Meta this week, at the time of recording this week, of basically saying, make vertical videos.
Yeah.
Like, don't do anything else. Like, this is what we're going to be pushing out.
Horizontal videos are for commercial, for TV, for TV use. And also for YouTube.
Yeah.
Right?
YouTube,
YouTube Shorts is vertical, but I always say shoot your videos horizontal and edit them so you can edit vertically.
Yeah. One of the cool things like I'm able to do with the cameras that I use is like get the whole, I'm going to nerd out for a sec.
Go ahead.
So I use I can shoot with the whole resolution top to bottom, right? And then whole resolution vertically. Because if you are shooting horizontal, it'll still like cut off like resolution pixels like top and bottom. So that's one of the things I love doing and love telling people and nerding out about is like, hey, I'm going to shoot this way and you can use everything full resolution for your videos. It's just a cool little thing that I thought I'd toss out there because I like talking about cameras. So.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now I bet over your years of kind of doing this, you've probably seen some mistakes be made too. He's laughing now. He's like thinking about it. What are some mistakes that, in 2025, like what are some mistakes that people can make with their video content that's just not going to be as effective?
The biggest thing is, from what I've seen, is using stock videos and stock photos to create kind of a montage.
Gotcha.
I love Canva. Canva does some great things, but using Canva stock videos to create your actual video, first off, that's not unique to your brand.
Right.
The other thing I will say is I firmly believe that being a marketing agency, there's a ton of marketing agencies out there. There's a ton. You can go with, there's endless possibilities.
Totally.
Businesses people buy into a business because of the people that run it, not because of the business. Ultimately, your product is what drives your business, your product or service. It's what drives your business, but they're going to buy into it because of why your values and who runs it.
Like it.
People come to us because, one, we structure our services different, and that's something that customers love.
Right.
But they also love me. They love my knowledge and my energy. Yes, my energy and our team. And so it's also our personality that drive the business. That can be directly portrayed into your video content, right?
Love that.
If you're using stock video content to put out and have that be your social posts, that's sharing nothing about your business.
It's just another image.
It's just another image. And so to really make it count, be yourself, be personable. Don't be afraid to throw up and be awkward on the camera. That's what shows the authenticity. Don't be afraid to stumble on your words. That's what shows the authenticity, and that you have imperfections, because no one's perfect.
Right.
No business is perfect.
Yeah, totally.
That's all.
Yeah, I like that. Yes, on the whole stock thing. Absolutely. I can envision videos right now with just stock video. Anything else on the mistake piece that you can think of off the top of your head?
I honestly, I don't think there's ever a wrong mistake. I seriously believe that it's just in what works for your business. And so, I can get into a bunch of stuff about what doesn't work about a certain business that we've worked with, but that certain thing may work really well for another business. And so I don't believe there's a right and a wrong way that I can tell you, like, hey, the only thing I can say is don't use stock images, don't use stock videos.
Right.
But if you're keeping your content authentic and engaging and entertaining, just experiment. There's no right thing that I can say that don't do this. It's just, you're going to find out on your own what works and doesn't work for your business.
I like that. Okay, so this has been a great conversation. And we definitely could talk about this pretty much all day. I know you have some meetings that you need to get to and everything. But let's say somebody's watching this and they don't get anything from this whole conversation that we just had. What's one thing that you would want them to take away from this conversation?
Perfectionism is overrated.
Nice.
Especially in the marketing world. Perfectionism is overrated.
I like that.
I'm a very faithful person. The only thing that's perfect is the man upstairs. It's the only thing that's perfect in this world. No business is perfect. Apple's not perfect. Microsoft's not perfect. And so what I'll tell people is just throw it out there. Let's post it and see what happens. Obviously, have the information correct. Have the content correct. Have your caption correct. But just throw it out there and see if it works. Post about your imperfections. One thing that really works, and actually on our last question, one thing that works within video content is talking about the imperfections in your business, and customer problems, and how you handle those customer problems. Because you're showing that you had a problem, but you're also showing how you handled that problem and how you handle conflicts. And so do not be a perfectionist. Just throw it up there. And see, and especially if you're a business that's just starting out, say you have $200 to your name, right? Social media is the one free piece of marketing that you can control yourself, right? Yes, it takes time. But even if it's just you have a thought on your mind and it takes 30 seconds to record it, you don't even have to edit it. Don't edit it. Just throw it up there.
Yeah.
Because it may get 3 views, but guess what? Those 3 views are 3 new people who have been introduced to your brand.
Right.
One of those people may buy from you. One of those people may give you a phone call.
Yep.
And so that's what I'd say.
That's
perfect.
That's what I like about video content. If you think of it in the realm of like people in the room. So like 3 people, you at least have their attention for like 3 seconds.
Yeah.
You know, if it's 100 views, you have the attention at least for 3 seconds of 100 people in a room. You know what I mean? And not only that, but like it also just lives there and keeps working for you like 24/7 as well. You know, like we'll always keep going.
Yeah. The other thing I'll say is a lot of pieces that we hear is, our content isn't going to be entertaining to somebody. Your content's entertaining to you. Yeah. You're not just the only person that thinks the same way. You know, there's other people. There's 3 billion people in the world. There's going to be somebody that thinks your content is entertaining.
Yeah.
You know, for example, we're a new client of ours that's going to be coming on here in this next month is a commercial cleaning company out of Minnesota.
Nice. Yep.
And in our first couple conversations, they said, well, we're a commercial cleaning company. Nobody cares about that. I don't know if you've noticed, but ASMR cleaning content is the most satisfying content out there. Yeah. And I told them that, and we looked at different video topics, and they said, well, but we're not direct to consumer. No, you're not direct to consumer. Well, let me tell you this. The businesses that you're advertising to, those are consumers.
Yep.
So no, you may not be a direct to consumer business, but actually you are.
And they're the ones watching this.
Yeah. And if they're not the ones, their kids are watching it.
Yeah.
You know, their employees are watching it.
Totally.
And going up to the boss and saying, hey, look at this really cool piece of content.
Yep.
So every company is a media company.
Well, I really like power washing videos. I'm not going to lie. Like
absolutely.
Doing the driveway and sidewalk and stuff like that. So yeah, you're definitely onto something there. Okay, Ben, this has been a great conversation. Where can people find you?
So you can find us online at www.kinnectmarketing.com. You can find us on socials at Kinnect Marketing. And then you can find me at BM_digital for my personal. I've, like we talked about with document, don't create, document.
Yep.
I try to do vlogs about my daily life and what goes on in being a student athlete, a student and a business owner.
That's why I asked, because I wanted to know, like, what does that look like?
The one thing I will say is one thing that's really inspired me. And I'm going to shout him out because he does a great job. There's an agency owner out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, Kevin Camus. He owns an agency called Launch Kit. Nice. And he does a great job on doing daily vlogs where he vlogs his personal life. Yep. And I found him on social, and him and I have become kind of friends now. And we've had a couple Zoom calls. Yep. But he's gotten like 70 plus clients just from his video content that he puts out. Yeah. And he stays consistent. Yeah. And it's key. So although I'm gonna shout out my imperfectionism, although I'm not consistent on my social because I'm trying to be, but I haven't been. But that shows what consistent content can do for you. Oh yeah. And even though I would say don't get discouraged. Right. Because once you get discouraged and stop, that's when you lose it. Yeah. Right. Yep. Imposter syndrome sets in, and exactly. Video content has proven itself. Yep. And so just trust in the algorithms, trust in yourself, trust in your process, and it'll work out for you. That's a good word. I'm going to put all your contact information down in the description. People can find it down there. But thanks so much, Ben, for being on this episode. Thank you. And awesome. like I said, we could keep going with this. We could keep going. So maybe we'll do this again in the future. Absolutely. It's good having you, man. Thanks.